Alrighty, guys, welcome back. This is another episode of the Insight Podcast. So today I've got a couple of special guests. It's our first three-way, my first three-way anyway. So, we got two other chippies, I believe. Yeah. So we got two other chippies in here today from Pinnacle down on the GC. And they're coming in here to talk about their business and their journey and everything like that. So, boys, I want to thank you again for coming on. I did say it off air before. Everyone's fucking busy at the moment. Flat Bicky across the board in Queensland. So yeah, thank you again. But we'll get going. And I guess, do you guys just want to start out by telling, who you guys are, what you do within the business, how you guys started, and then we'll just fucking go from there.
I'll start. My name's Jackson. Dave is my business partner. We used to work together for the same carpentry company. Mm-hmm. I did my second half of my apprenticeship with him, and Dave was a qualified guy. I was still an apprentice at the time. We just sort of got sick of working for someone else and got to the point where you couldn't move up in the pyramid.
Yeah.
And one day we're like, hey, let's just see if we can give it a crack. And we've sort of gone from there now. I know Dave.
So you were sort of his superior.
Yeah.
Quite some time.
Yeah, funny enough, we actually never worked together that much.
Oh, okay.
He was the frame team, I was more cladding.
Yeah.
And then, same boss that we had, and we just decided one day when...
So who approached who?
So I actually had a mate that started a building company in the worst possible time, COVID times. He couldn't get chippies, so he called me. He was desperate to get manpower. He said, can you please build a team and come and help me just on weekends at least do a house up here in Tarradindi?
Yeah.
So I reached out to Jackson, a couple of other guys. We went up a few weekends in a row and smashed it out for him.
Yeah.
He loved our work. He said, if you guys sort your shit out and start up, then I'll give you all my work. And that's sort of put it in our...
Always been the Gold Coast?
Yeah, like our boss, he did a lot of speckies, but he also did a lot of high-end stuff. He sort of had
good balance, yeah.
So guys on the books.
Yeah.
So we had sort of the younger guys in the specky world working out of Ripley, like bar scrub, that sort of area. And coming from the Gold Coast, it's a bit of a drive.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and a half on average. But then he did a lot of nice work in Sanctuary Cove and a few high-end builds and stuff. And that was sort of where the older, more mature guys would work. The young guys would get farmed out and learn the skill quick. But we sort of got sick of that and we're like, we need to move up in the world. And once Dave's mate was like, if you guys can get your ducks in a row, you guys organise it.
So you both started your apprenticeships on the Gold Coast and you think, no.
So Dave...
No, I did my apprenticeship back in the day in NZ. And qualified there, then moved over here, and I've done heaps of different things. I've done maintenance, I've done form work.
Yeah. It's a lot different over there than it is to here. Like we employ a lot of guys from NZ,
They called it a building apprenticeship over there.
You're a builder over there.
Carpentry. But you did all aspects. So it's not till I actually moved here that I saw how divided it was here. And so when I moved over in 2011, industry was a bit slow, so I sort of just bit of maintenance stuff, got to learn a few other skills, because you had to learn to do tiling a whole lot. And I went from there, did form work for about 3 years. That was also a good experience. Then when worked for a cladding company, we did a lot of Condev Hutchies jobs. And then
why carpentry? Why did you guys get into carpentry?
Honestly,
family or?
No, in school I loved woodwork, so I pretty much picked up an apprenticeship straight out of school. At the age of 17. So and I still love being on tools. To be honest, I know body says no some days. I'm probably the oldest one.
Dave's the oldest player. 6 years, 7 years. I don't know. I started it. Got out of school. I knew I didn't want to go to uni. I knew I wanted to do something outside. I did the whole gap year thing overseas for a year, like everyone did. Came back, started an apprenticeship with one guy. I did that for 2 years, and sort of gets to that point where you're like, you think you know everything. And I swapped guys, came into a new builder, and then went from there and got qualified. Gave him 2 years back, and then obviously Dave and I come up with the idea to start Pinnacle. We were actually working on on one job down in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Pretty nice house, and things just were taking forever. It was on the hourly rate, and like, oh, let's go to the surf club. Like, this is just kind of the same time we're doing work on the weekend for the building, mate. I was like, let's just do it, man. Like, went to the surf club, and there was a steak called the Pinnacle steak. That's what Pinnacle.
There we go.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, just sort of run with that.
So talk to me around, because I want to unpack this, right? The mindset of taking that jump. Sounds very easy when you say it, because it's just like, oh, fuck it, let's just do it. Like, a lot of people would just say, fuck it. But talk to me about the context of where you guys were at in your life at that point in time, and was it more risky for you because you're older, or was it like, what was the...
Yeah, I had my third child on the way with my wife, and I knew, like, with my other two getting older, like, it just needed a bit of more flexibility, also more stable income. Like, it's too, like I needed to be able to shoot off, do the school run, school pick up. And, you know, it is hard working for someone and then just, hey, I'm leaving now. I'll only get here at bloody 9 o'clock.
That's right. It's very rare. Like, I think we've got a couple of boys for us that do that, but it's like, it is hard, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you're hurting yourself. Like, I had the conversation this morning with one of the guys where he's in that sort of basket where he has to start later, and then it's like, he's got to leave. And I just said to him, I said, listen, man, like, productivity, as long as it's there, that's fine. But at the end of the day, the only one that's really getting hurt is yourself, because you're only getting paid for the hours that you're doing. So, like,
as well.
Exactly, right? So it's limited for him. But so it was obviously more risky for you. And what about you?
Me, I just bought a house at Helensvale. I had a house, sold, it's like start of COVID, thinking it's just going to plummet. Obviously, did the full...
Went the other way. Fucking skyrocketed,
Houses for like $750 in Palm Beach to ended up at Helensvale. Yeah. Like, it's just, we just constantly took us a year, me and my partner, to find a house. We just bought a house. Yeah. And then, like 3 months later, we started Pinnacle. So from there, it was like, you've got a mortgage coming in every week. Yeah. And obviously, it was a bit of a dump, so you want to renovate it as well. So you got that side of it. Yeah. But also, it's just a matter of, just on the bigger and better things.
Yeah. So then did you guys... Because this is another thing that I like unpacking with a lot of guys, is when you're in that carpentry space or builder space, right? A lot of guys get fucking twisted. They want to do both, right? And the way I think about it, a building company and a contracting company, they're two different things. Yeah. And I think builder developers, they try to do both. And what I find now is it's becoming more and more normal that they're breaking away from that. Like, a lot of builders are getting rid of their carpenters to contract out, because it's just... running carpentry crews or running a carpentry arm in a building business is a fucking business on its own. You come with its own baggage, its own emotions. You got fucking carpenters that don't like working on this job, don't like working here. And it's like, if you're a builder developer, you're a builder developer. You need to be looking at sites and deals and building plans and that. You shouldn't be worrying about.
That's sort of where we've angled ourselves in the last couple of years, is to sort of find that niche in the market of, like, where you can... You're the builder. Most builders have their own carpentry crew, and it's hard for them to run both things at once. Yeah. So we like to sort of go, hey, if you can just be the builder, and we'll just worry about everything carpentry. And we internally will look after defects and things like that.
And there'll always be the little bits and pieces that'll need finessing, or that you can't find in the scope, or it's things that are just redlined out because there's no detail for it. And I think if they rock with 3 or 4 guys of their own, they can just go in there and do all that little detail stuff, and then you guys carry the weight.
Builders still need a carpenter.
100%. Yeah.
If we're there, we're doing the bulk of the work. Yeah. We do 90% of the job, and you just have to have your carpenters to help in. If, say, you want to do a push on a job, get your guys in. Yeah. Or, like, for us now, we've sort of scaled it to the point where we've got a dozen guys. Yeah. There or thereabouts. It gives us the ability to shift guys around sites. If one builder's like, hey, I've got a deadline because the roof's got to go on in next week. It's like, sweet, I can get 8 guys there now. Yeah. Or we can pump this out for a week. Or it's like, oh, we can sort of slow down on this, and we can go off and do other jobs for other builders and keep a few more people happy. Yeah, because I think when guys are starting, I was in that boat. When I started back in, I think it would have been 2017, something like around that. I ended up getting my builder's license, and then I was in that basket where I didn't know what I wanted to do. It was like, I'm going to go out there, and I think it was like from 2018 to 2020, I did like 3 or 4 like $1 million builds, and it was just, I thought I was a fucking rock star. Got really good photos. It was great.
But I didn't really like that fucking side of the fence. It wasn't that crash hot. You're dealing with clients all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't that great. So
Liability on you as well.
very, very much. Like
People you can't control, other subcontractors.
yeah, and I didn't have the capital behind me to do developments. Like banks, not only did I have a brand new business, I had, you know, I think I had one kid, I was just getting married. There was a lot of shit going on in my world. So it was like, I didn't have that capital behind me to even think about doing my own developments as a builder. I just needed money in the fucking door. Yeah. So, you know, like that COVID situation where you said that it was like that guy was starting to be a builder even COVID. Yeah. We're in the same boat, but I was already the builder and I pivoted out of it and went to contracting because that market then popped. Yeah. Because all the sites that were development sites you could work on, but you couldn't go and work at Jeanette's house because she was living in it, right? But you could go on an empty development site and still work. So it just sort of worked perfectly for us in that timing side of it. And then it just sort of went bang, like for us at that point. And we obviously learned lessons along the way. But, you know, it's interesting though, because yeah, like I think the general, and I'm a big advocate for it now because I know it works, like the model works. But previously, it's very much normal for carpenters to finish their apprenticeship, to get qualified, to get their Cert 4, then get a builder's license and be a builder. That's the normal fucking trajectory.
Both of us haven't done that.
Which I say to guys now.
People need to do that. I feel like this is where we're at. I feel like this is kind of the way forward, especially for bigger. Like we specialise in like custom high-end stuff. Yep. And like it is very hard to just do volume and you can pump it out and go square metre rates, off you go. Yeah. But for custom stuff, you need guys that are going to show that attention to detail. Yeah. And you're only building things once. Yeah. And like you've got to take your time with stuff, but it's very difficult. But I feel like we've sort of started out with that plan if that's what we want to do. Yeah. And it's now taken like 4 years and sort of the fruits.
Yeah, we've jumped through some hoops. It's been a big learning curve. You know, took on work where we had to just take on work for the sake of having work.
But you need to, and I think that's part of business. That's life.
Out, but
you learn from it.
You do a lot of jobs for free.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're paying for it. Yeah, you're paying for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So but everything takes time. Things have come around. Yeah. And
So how many years is Pinnacle at now?
Just over 4.
Yeah. Just over 4.
4 years.
Yeah. So. And you said that you guys are only really specialising now in luxury sort of stuff. Have you guys dabbled in other aspects of that realm yet? Like, because I think you said originally you were doing cladding packages for like the tier 1 sort of guy. Like, have you you guys sort of said to yourselves you want to just sort of stay in that custom phase at the moment?
At this stage, because that's actually what we set out to do was high-end. I had a really high-end apprenticeship back in New Zealand where I did like probably 2/3 of my apprenticeship on one property, and then some of it through that same family as all this rich list, which was my boss that I did my apprenticeship through. His sister married into like the rich list family over there, and it was all real high end work, whether it was for them or then for the dad or then, and I always thought my boss was unnecessarily pedantic, and that's me now. And I enjoy that kind of things through my apprenticeship, which is what I always wanted to do again, and we've been doing it.
Talk to me about 2 of the biggest fucking pain points that you guys are experiencing with resourcing, with carpenters especially, or apprentices as well, because it's a fucking headache out there.
I'm trying to find guys that are worth their value. Like a lot of guys want to dictate their value to you.
So they want, if you're trying to say that $75 on wages straight out of the gate as a 21-year-old is...
You can get that. Good luck to you.
You can get it. All you got to do is go on fucking Facebook and have a look at the... mate, you'll find it.
I don't know where it's so unrealistic what people come up with now, and we can only charge so much as well.
Yeah,
100%.
That's probably the one thing that's the hardest for us is you've got a builder that once upon a time had their own carpentry crew. They could pay their carpenters direct, but now we're like the extra mouth. You're in the chamber in the middle, and
you've got all your overheads that need to pay for it.
Yep.
And guys, like if you went to work direct for a builder, you could get probably $10-15 more, but you're not going to get consistent work. And if we come in on your site, you're going to be doing the crap work. Like you're just going to be a glorified labourer.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what's happened recently with a couple of jobs that we sort of come on and a few chippies just like turn their nose up if they're already there working for a builder, and then that builder by the end of the job that doesn't have any chippies left. Because they just don't want to cut concrete. They don't want to.
But that's exactly right. And I think I picked that like fucking ages ago that it was going to happen. And every single builder that I've spoken to thus far, there's only, out of all the ones in Brisbane that I know, out of the top ones, like I'm talking the ones that I know that actually run good businesses, there's maybe 3 or 4 that can do it, with their own crew.
Why does a builder sub out plumbing or electrical? Why can't it be carpentry as well?
Yeah.
You know, like there's no reason why it can't.
Yeah. And I think it becomes harder because then it's a quality thing, and they think that by keeping it internally with their own guys, they can manage the quality. And it was a question, you know, it was like the guys that you're working for down in the Gold Coast. It was one of those conversations that we had initially about the importance of setting up the expectations at the start. You know, the biggest thing that we find with builder to builder, in carpentry especially, right? Plumbing and electrical, putting a PowerPoint here and putting a PowerPoint in a $2 million house down the Gold Coast, it's the same fucking thing. It's a cable that comes through the wall. It's PowerPoint. But hanging a door here and hanging a door on the Gold Coast for someone, but a builder, they might have a different way that they want you to do it. They might say, we don't like using those hinges. We don't like it when, you know, we don't want a 4 mil quirk. We want a 2 mil quirk. We want this, we want that. Like there's so many fucking finite details in it because they're also usually a carpenter themselves, or they've got their own way of doing it. And I think the biggest thing that I find, and when I talk to builders and I say to them, go the contracting route, get a contract carpentry crew in, get rid of all your fucking guys. Get rid of all of them. You got 12 blokes, fuck them off. Keep 3 of them.
It's a constant overhead for the builder.
Exactly. What do you got? You got 12 guys.
Smaller jobs that they probably don't want to do just to keep that couple of guys busy.
You got 12 guys, and I go there on a Tuesday, and you got 4 of them sweeping a fucking floor, and you got 3 guys that have been doing ceiling frames for the last 3 weeks. Are you trying to tell me that you've budgeted that in your FISO, that is what it's going to cost? Fuck no.
That's why carpentry scope blows out so much.
Every single day of the week. So I say to them, why don't you guys have got a budget or a feasibility that you've done up for that project, run it out, create the budget for the carpentry crews, get rid of all your fucking guys, run them as just extra sets of hands across those jobs, and then go to contract and get guys, I can't handle the quality, I can't do, I can't trust anyone, fucking da 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 da. And I sort of say to them, sort of a little bit of management, I think, in my opinion. I think it's mismanagement. I think if you have your details that you like I know there's a particular builder in Brizzy, we've had, me and him are sweet, never worked for each other, we nearly did, but I've got his details through, and he was very adamant that he only liked things a certain way. Like when we were doing cladding details and battening this, and he's like, how do you do that? I said, I do it like this. Oh no, we like it like this. So it could never be assumed of anything because how I did something wasn't how he did it. So we had to almost go through and create like a bit of a schedule of everything from top to bottom, inside to outside, that I know that he needed to tell me that he wanted. Yeah, rebates, fucking this, that, and the other, like every single little thing. Because if I did it the way that we did it, he'd go in there and he'd be like, why'd you do it like that? I'm like, that's how we always do it. No, that's not how we do it. I'm like, well, you never told me that.
Sounds like a familiar conversation.
Exactly. Yeah. But what we've done might be compliant and might be up to a standard, but it's just not how they want it done. So it's almost like a control thing, and they need to break the control, documentate what they want done and communicate it, and understand that they're going to go through growing pains during that period of miscommunication and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
And have it both ways. It's not just a one-way street.
Yeah. But you got to educate them as well, because as I always say to them, you guys are builders, right? You guys have got about 1,000 other contractors that you're looking for. You got flood risks that you're doing, council, plans, certifiers, plumbers, sparkies. I'm only looking after the carpentry scope. So for me, when my estimators look at it, their scope is just focused in on the carpentry aspect. So we know that thing in detail. You don't. You just know what you want, but you need to communicate that to me. So I'll RFI everything, but if there's anything outside those RFIs that I don't know about, you need to tell me.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's just a bit of, you sort of need to go on that journey together, which is, as I say to them all, it benefits them in the long run. Because if you can get it in a crew that it gels with and it works, then when you guys go to that same guy's job on the next one, you then don't need to go through that whole process again. Your boys know that this builder wants it this way.
100%. That's another thing. Like we have monthly breakfasts and things like that.
Yeah.
So we'll continuously tell the boys, like, hey, we've got this job coming up or that job coming up, and remind them, okay, this builder likes these sort of, like, exactly like that. We do those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And it's important for the boys to know as well. Like, it's not just on us; it's on everyone that works for us and wears our shirt and essentially our company on their back.
Yeah. So, what is the roles that you two play? Because you guys are obviously a duo within the business. So, if you had to split it, what you handle on site, you handle client, or do you guys? Do you guys have defined roles on who what you mix?
We're both on site, but we very rarely see each other.
Yeah, at the start it was like site together, but now it's got point with two.
Where we are now, it's sort of 2 or 3 jobs at a time.
Yeah.
And then we sort of have one other guy that we can really rely on. So he'll run a crew, Jackson runs a crew, I run a crew.
Yeah.
And how does it define guys that you can rely on?
It's hard.
That you can lead?
Yeah.
It is hard.
Well, the one we've got, he's been with us for quite a while, and he's bloody good. You know, I can trust him to do the high-end stuff. And then, everyone's got to work their way into it. Yeah. The skills come with the experience. That's the thing.
We do have a young crew as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
The other leading hand guy, I'm 30, he's 30. The other tradie is like 32, but everyone other than that's like about 25 or younger.
Yeah.
So even though they're tradies or apprentices, they're quite young. It's not like we've got any journeymen that are like 40 years old and know the trade, you know.
I can talk about this journeyman aspect. So I've had both. I've employed, you know, right now we sort of sit in that similar bracket. Like we've got a fairly young team. And it's funny when you go to jobs and the builder or the client's always saying there needs to be more experience here because they're gauging it off age, right? Just by visual. And I've tested this physically. Anyone that doesn't believe me, I have done a live test with this, right? I've had younger looking guys go to jobs that I know for a fact they're competent to do, right? And it's not that complex. They can work away, chip away and do it. And I've had people ask me, there needs to be more, you know, experienced guys here. So then I've gone, okay, let me put on a guy that's in his 60s, right, that I had. Let me put him on there. And never ended up getting a phone call from the builder saying there needs to be more experience there. But guess what ended up happening? The job ended up fucked. Yeah. He fucking cocked it, the whole thing, right? Did it all wrong. So it just goes to show, and I think a lot of guys mix up the whole age thing as a competency aspect. Yeah. It's got nothing to do with it. Never. And it's a visual thing. They just like to see bodies and they like to see guys of age on there. Yeah, it's a fucking massive myth. And I tested it and I had that guy on there, cocked it, we sacked him, I sacked him on the spot, and now we're still there fixing it. So it's like on a job that I could have sent a 21-year-old to do, which is fairly easy, it's a flight of stairs, a set of stairs that we were doing, right? We're now having to redo them all.
Yeah, it's costing you more.
Massive, right? Just on the basis that I did what they said and I bent, and they said, we needed more experience. I said, no worries. And I bent on that.
Yeah.
And then it ended up costing
that and going that, put my foot down.
Yeah, and it was like a test as well. Like I was like, fuck it, like let's see. So, and we paid for it too. So I was like, well, fuck, I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah. So like now it's more of like the same thing. It's more of a, reassurance. Yeah, mate, no worries. Yeah, he is younger. Yeah, but I can trust that he's doing the right thing and da-da-da-da-da. Like just communicating and trying not to really bend over backwards all the fucking time.
You've got to stick to your guns sometimes and back your boys and back who you've got and go, no, mate, like, this guy's he's a man for the job and trust him. I like working with him.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop you right there. We are now halfway through this episode and I want to make a special shout out to Ideal Group Australia. Without the employees and the company at Ideal, we would not be able to produce this or bring this podcast to you. Now, welcome back to the episode. Talking back about guys, right? The carpenters, and I think we said one thing, but I said there was other than that, the price, because the money thing is the hardest thing. It's the same as us, same as me. Like I get guys approach me saying, mate, I want fucking this. And it's like, I can't even leave you on one job. Like I can't even leave you to hang fucking 6 doors.
You know, you don't have like all the tools, or
You got a hatchback and a handful of tools. Like, and you want $70 on wages. Like,
a 10-piece kit. That's all.
how's that going to work, right? So that's a constant drama. But other than that, like, what would you guys say that is the hardest thing? Because on the Gold Coast, from what I've heard, it's also hard to find fucking guys down there as well. Is that true or not?
I think it's just a reflection on how much work's out there, to be honest with you.
Heaps.
Like, there's a lot of work. I mean, it's only going to get worse leading up to the Olympics.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be a lot more guys that'll go from residential to commercial with that coming up, with a few government contracts and things like that. We're not interested in any of that. We're just solely focused on custom homes. And it's almost, everyone always says, oh, you've got to find your niche. Like, this is our niche of doing custom homes. Like, some guys just do decks or just do specs or whatever. I think this is definitely where we want to be, and we've wanted to be from the start. So. But I don't know, it's just trying to find a good bunch of guys that, and that's sort of like a no dickheads policy as well. Like, we've been very lucky. We've been very lucky in the 4 years we've had. Pretty much everyone's just been sweet. Couldn't think of a single person we've had along the way that's just been a bad apple and sort of and stuff things up, because very quickly that can mess up the group and it can spread quite easily. But that's
you said you got how many? 12 now?
11, 12 sort of in between that number.
And it's quite manageable at the moment.
And you sort of, we've got to the point where we've grown from just Dave and myself for the first 2 months when we started, didn't pay ourselves, just to get some money in the kit.
Just to build up the business.
Oh, wait, you trying to tell me that you weren't getting $1 million a year when you started the business? What the fuck? Didn't you have a Silverado straight away? What the fuck?
Jet skiing and like,
what the hell? I thought that was normal. You get an ABN and bang, all of a sudden.
That's the delusion that people have.
Put in $3,000 each from the start, and we haven't put a cent more, and it's just grown from there. Which has been crazy. Like, we've gone from 4 guys after 1 year to 7, to then 9 to now 12. Been 4 years in. It's just
paying the payroll. Is the biggest thing. Like,
keep putting money back into the business, because I've had a lot of guys along the way. Like, you have hiccups and moments where you're like, oh, I should just throw in the towel and I'll go work for $75 an hour for the builder. And what's the point? I'm paying myself less than that to do all this. But in 10, 20 years time, I'm going to be able to actually have the ability to only go to work 1 or 2 days a week, which is what the 20 years prior sort of got me to, which is the goal. Because you hear guys out there like, oh, I'm getting that, but it's like, you're going to have to keep working when you're 50, mate. I want to be able to go pick up my kids from school or go to their sports carnival and things like that, because that's important. That's more important than anything else.
Well, I had a discussion with like, there was a close family friend that I had a discussion with around that freedom aspect of having the business. So everyone assumed, like, when you started, and this is another thing, the financial thing we all know about. I preach it on this podcast a lot about, how I fully believe that you need to not fuck the golden goose, like, put the money back into the business. You haven't made it, even though you say, for instance, you run your P&L and you've got X, Y, and Z. That money is not in the fucking bank, right? It's not like it's sitting there and it's just, come and get me. No, it's in motion. It's in staff, it's in debtors, it's in whatever it is, right? So it's always in flow. But what I find is a lot of guys, they do that too quick, and they go out there and get way too many things straight out of the gate, and then they wonder why they're stressed out of their eyeballs. Then they start taking on work that they shouldn't, and they've got no ability to back off and go, you know what, let's not keep doing this. Let's close the chapter on this book and focus on the next, because they can't. They're fucked. They've got ATO debt, super, all the other bullshit that's coming.
You don't learn about when you're a kid either. You don't learn that. These guys that are qualified carpenter, all of a sudden, I can do my own business. Like, you don't know anything about the actual business. I feel like there almost should be a business aspect of certain things. Because people are so naive. We were naive as well. So sit here and
absolutely.
What do you mean? Like, business is easy as fuck.
You think everything's going sweet. Oh man, we're doing so well. And then the accountant emails you and you're like, oh shit.
Wait, I don't have that money? What the hell? The fuck? Oh, well, you should have that. That's the ATO's money. I don't know where it is. I don't have it. The fuck?
We're a big believer, and it happens for a reason though as well. There's been moments there when both of us like, what are we doing, man? It's ridiculous.
I have had, and I've preached on here before, that like I've had massive, like I've had 6-figure ATO debts, like payment plan set up. Like, you know, now the company that we have now and the company that we used to have is completely different. You know, now I can confidently say that we do not have any of that. We pay it all on time in full, and super's paid weekly. But it's like when you're on, in our game anyway, we're on 30-day, 45 days, right? You can sort of sharpen it and like get to the 14. 14 is like nearly unheard of for us now. 21 is like fucking cheering. And then 30 is just the normal thing. If we get 7 days, like it's fucking, 7 days would be like a job that we're only doing that's like under $1,000 if we're lucky.
Yeah.
But like to float the amount of overhead and the amount of staff, you know, you throw in a nail today and I then got to float you for the next 45 days and then receive that payment. Yeah. I had a podcast in here yesterday. As I said to him, it's like the only industry that I fucking know that happens. Yeah. It's like,
Jamie Hi-Fi and buy a TV and then...
Yeah, you can afterpay. You can fucking afterpay it and stuff. But it's like, there's JB Hi-Fi still getting their fucking money, right? The debt's now just being transferred to another company. So it's like, and it's like, you know, you go into the doctor's office and you pay beforehand, dude. You don't pay fucking after. Like,
Coles now, they can't get your groceries without paying.
Exactly. Like, and I think it's the biggest construction contracting is it's one of the most riskiest games to be in. And it's like guys that are naive to it and they think that it's, you know, it's not about that it's bad. I'm not preaching that being in this game is bad. I think it's very rewarding, but you need to be very careful at how you approach it, because you can go from thinking you've made it to receiving one VAS bill and being absolutely fucking on your knees and thinking, how does that even work? We were on an hourly rate and we had all these variations. We're banking money. Yeah, no, you know what?
You got nice numbers too. Like, I know that's probably one thing where we've sort of looked at the last 6 to 12 months. We've still got so much more room to improve and know the numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Knowing the numbers too, that gets thrown around a lot. A lot of guys on socials will say that. They'll push it very hard. Know your numbers, know your numbers, know your numbers. I did a series probably like 6-12 months ago around like a podcast around that, talking about numbers and that, not about my numbers, but just around the mentality of that whole universe of people saying that. When you start out, and it was almost like paralysis analysis situation, because when you start out, if you start business and the only thing that you're trying to work out is what your GP is and what your net profit is and how much X, Y, and Z is, you don't even have the time to fucking do that at the start. You don't even know what what gross profit margin is. You don't even know what you're doing. You're just charging an hourly rate of $80. You're paying yourself X, and whatever's left over, you're thinking you made it, and you end up with VAS bill, and you got to make it up. That's the start. And I think a lot of guys, they get so mixed at the start, and they think, I need to know my numbers. It's like, that's almost like a luxury you need to get yourself into position to learn your numbers.
I think having a good accountant as well is handy. Yeah, our accountant does business mentoring as well. Yeah, as well as an accountant. Yeah, she's quite well versed in that. She deals with a lot of other construction companies as well, so she can take experiences from other and that sort of pass on to us before we've sort of come to that hurdle, so to speak. So,
and what's harder, being a good carpenter or being a good business owner?
Definitely business owner. We're good at building houses.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what you do it for. You're apprenticing for and do your whole career for you.
Yeah.
Do all the apprentices all think now that you know, they all probably think, oh, you know, you guys fucking clean them up, mate.
Sometimes
that's the jet ski.
Joke about it. They go, oh, you guys are killing it.
Yeah.
One of our apprentices, he the joke the other week about, I just got a 4 rating, it's nothing special. He's like, it's your credit rating guy, every kilometre you're driving that thing. Like, he's like, that's how minted you are. I'm like, no, it's not the case at all. It's all tongue in cheek. But to be fair to the guys we've got, they're the reason why business is where it is. 100%. And that's like why we're here talking to you today and things like that. It's not just about us, like we have a podcast with you and facing the camera and stuff, but the guys that are still working today, working their backside off, they're the reason why we're sort of in the trajectory we're in, and they know that. Yeah. But they also know like this isn't where we're going to stop. We're going to keep pushing and keep going.
Yeah, that's good. Like, I owe everything to the guys, but I also say to a lot of guys that come in here, like the business owners especially, that you guys need your flowers as well. I think a lot of business owners, including myself, we put forward your employees, number one.
Yeah.
You do everything for them. You minimize how much you pay yourself. Yeah. You pay everything for them that we should, right? But then no one actually says to you that you guys are doing a good job and like good work. Like no one ever fucking does that to any real business owner at all. They just you just sort of go at the end of the year and 100%. It's just a given. It's an expectation. But then when you put expectations on employees to do certain things, it's like, well, how dare you? It's like, you know, sometimes I look at it as a both-sided argument. I understand that employees do need to come first, but I think in this environment at the moment where construction is almost very lucrative, where if you've got 2 arms and 2 legs, you can get a job at $50 an hour like that. Very easy money at the moment. You don't need to actually show a lot. If I showed up right now and fucking high-vis and I had an nail bag and I walked up on your job site and they said, mate, I'm fucking keen as, let's go, right? 9 times out of 10, you'll get a job pretty fucking quick because there's that much work out there.
Yeah.
So then what ends up happening is entitlement goes through the roof. Guys think that, you know, I need this and I need that and I need this. And then what happens is all the business owners just get absolutely fucking raped from both sides.
Race to the bottom as well.
Yeah.
Like, even spec home builders, they probably play that a bit. Like, we've got guys that we've both done I did my apprenticeship with for our old company, and they're out on their own and stuff, and they'll work for those spec home builders, and they'll try and push you and do little extras and this and that. I'm like, bro, just back yourself. Go, no, I want a PO before I do anything. Like, just don't even do that little bit. Oh, just can you do this for this trader? Can you do this for that? No, don't do it. Just walk away. Yeah, like it's not worth it. You got to stick to your guns and.
Yeah, because you guys, like, even for the guys that are listening as well, people got to understand when you're doing this line of work. I guess for you guys it might be a little bit different, but for the guys that are doing that sort of line of work with those builders, that they're not like, a lot of the time the person that you're either trying to get the money out of or get that purchase order from, they've never been a business owner.
No.
They don't know anything about it. They don't know your business. They don't know anything about it. So for them, they don't really care whether or not you go backwards or whatever. They might say that they don't want you to, but at the end of the day, they also don't, like when we push back now, we always say to them that, you know, our business isn't designed for a non-for-profit. At the end of the day, we're trying to actually fucking make money here, believe it or not. So it's like when we say no, we're not saying no because we want to be dicks, but just like how you guys operate is how we want to operate. And it's like when you communicate that, sometimes it can come off a bit abrasive, but it really depends on who you talk to and how you communicate it through. And you know, I think if you get lucky enough to talk to the business owner that you're dealing with about it, they can usually empathize with it and understand. But I think a lot of guys get stuck because they believe that they need to bend over and do everything they need to do. Otherwise, they're going to lose the relationship.
I mean, you do have to do certain things to build relationships as well.
100%.
Like, you can't just be all one way.
Yep.
And you do have to sort of forego a couple of things to build up things, especially just trying to start out and prove yourself as a company. Like, no one's going to hear at Pinnacle, but now slowly, 4 years later, get some momentum and sort of get there.
And it kicks off.
And business, I don't know, I feel like business take the first 5 years, you just got to stay in business. That's all it is. If you can stay above water from there the next 5
you can survive.
you can go from there.
Like I said something the other day. I was like, I remember like someone used to say to me, oh, you know, the first 5's hard, you know, but I think once you really get to like the 10 mark, that's when you've been able to like build out that real foundation. You got the structure in behind you, and then you can sort of go.
You got to get there.
Yeah, you got to fucking mate. You got to go through the ringer. You got to like burn through stuff, like pay debtors, fucking burn, like pay ATO debt. There's so many things that you got to do along the way, and then you got to stay above water. I just come from a meeting with a guy and talking about small world. My name like has been thrown around now, and I went into this meeting and sort of got a little bit. I would say cornered a little bit. So like me and my operations manager, we went in there, but they'd already researched me and fucking spoken to heaps of people about us and that. So like I could tell it was coming across, even though we were in there to do the job for them, not the other way around. I could tell it was like this is the reason why I'm talking about this is because when you guys are doing like, there's always 2 sides to every story, right? You could have a company where you're doing, you do the best job, you never burn a bridge, you have the best relationship. Believe it or not, 9 times out of 10, a lot of those companies, they don't last that long because they don't stand their ground on certain aspects. They just get walked over. Doesn't mean that you, like I've got really good relationship with some guys, and other guys, sometimes you just don't see eye to eye. So like in that particular instance, and because if you are in business for quite some time, these things do happen. And in that particular meeting, it was actually good because when I confronted the situation, I said like, well, who, what job? Then you actually get both sides of the story because there's not ever just one side. So it's like when you guys, not just mainly you, but like anyone that's listening, when they're going through it and they're worried, because I've had a few mates when they're on a job and they're afraid they're getting taken advantage of. Fucking plain and simple. They're getting taken advantage of because there's money getting held over their head. They're getting fucked, right? And they don't want to walk or they don't want to say anything or do anything because they feel like they won't get their money and that they're going to burn their reputation. And this is going back to the statement that I said about you're working for people that don't run a business, that don't pay your bills. You have to be okay with fucking saying no and putting your family, meaning your fucking kids, your wife, your employees first, and losing that relationship if you need to.
That's the thing, as a business owner, you're responsible for
100%.
Your family, but also the family of all the guys that work for you.
Yeah, and that's probably Yep. That's been a big thing, a big mental thing that I've had to fucking deal with, like massive. Like
definitely something we've had to like attach it out. Like, bro, like if we put on a couple more guys, or if we don't get this job, or this and that, you've got to have a real honest conversation with yourself and go, well, what are we going to do, man?
Yeah. Or if bills don't get paid and you're waiting.
Payroll is always fucked.
It was all right in the start because now we've got grown to the point we are. You can throw in $5,000, $10,000 of your own money, you know, and have a director's loan and pay yourself back once the payment came in. But now that money doesn't even, they're not going to drop in the ocean, and it doesn't do anything.
I'll put $10,000 in and get sweet. Yeah. And just take it.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah. So that's probably the hardest thing at the moment for us is just to keep that. But I suppose we'll just get better. We'll have a bit more of a cough up.
And how have you guys, like we're getting to the pointy end, the mentality with the business and the financial aspect of it? Because it's a hard fucking thing to be in. Yeah. Running guys on site and doing really good high quality work and working on beautiful houses and providing a good product, that's one arm. Mm-hmm. That's what I would say, sort of the easy aspect. But then you got the mental load of all that shit. Mm. How have you, because it's good that you guys are in a partnership because then you got someone to bat off.
Yeah.
Right? And do you guys usually bat off each other when you can, you know?
I don't know. That's an interesting choice of words.
in the three-way. Just put me in it.
I don't know, like everyone's got strengths and weaknesses. Like everyone when we started was, you're starting a partnership, bro. Like they never work out. I feel like it's our greatest strength. I really do.
Everyone fucking says that, eh?
Right.
Yeah, and flexibility wise too. Like obviously finding that balance with work, life, family, everything in between. At least if I take time out, he steps in, he takes time out, holidays or whatever, I step in. That's definitely one of the biggest benefits.
Like, I don't know, it's even good just being able to have both of us on one site, multiple crews and things like that. Because if you think about it, if you're just one guy that's a shitty leading carpenter and you're going to go do your own thing, like you have to go on site all the time, otherwise there's going to be a natural drop off from your boys, efficiency wise, and you've got to allow for that as well.
And that was one thing, and you guys will go through it. There's one thing that I learned. It was like you love being on the tools, but there does come a point in time where it almost hurts the business more, you being there, because
you just get in the way.
Yeah, you get in the way, you're on the phone, you're looking at the next job, you're stepping in, you're stepping out. It's like, it's more unproductive, and it's like, it was a hard thing for me because if you guys, you know, if you guys are there, you get this much done every day. You know, you're thinking, fuck, this is good, like we're pumping, work's good. But then as soon as you're not there, naturally, the productivity goes down.
Yeah.
And then you assume that, fuck, we got, like, what the fuck? Then, like, for me, I went through all these emotions, everything. And it was like, you then start getting annoyed because you're like, well, when I was with you, you guys were fucking, you were doing this much. And then you start, like, it's just an internal battle. Like, I've spoken to so many business owners, guys that run $100 million companies now, guys that run small things, and I've asked them all, like, how you been able to do that? And it's like, if you were doing 70% production, like back then when you guys were doing it, now you're doing like 30%. But the 30% is more consistent because it's running without you. So it's like, even though you're not doing as much, you're doing it more consistently. And it was a big, like, I guess it's going to be interesting, like if we talk again in a couple of years to see where you guys end up and go through that process. And that's why I asked you about the roles, you know, because inevitably someone's going to step, you know what I mean? And then someone's going to take the site, someone's then going to take the back of house.
Sort of, the vision is sort of to have that group of guys, and then almost, if we're at the point where we can have time to do the office and the back end stuff, we'll do it. But if there's nothing to do, I mean, there always is something to do, but we're almost like a bonus of, we could go on, it's just as a tradesman, we work under our same guys, even though we're like the director of the company and stuff. That's sort of the way we're sort of thinking about things. If we have 10 guys on the tools and us do like the bonus labour, if we can jump on and push the job along a bit.
Yeah.
If there's time, but if there's not time to, if you're quoting the next job or you're meeting with this builder, or you're putting out this fire over here, just someone's
I think the leadership side of it, that was the biggest thing that changed for me, is when you put, this is good advice for like some guys that are in that situation. So when I think I had 8 guys at that point, and I had a guy leading hand, I had multiple leading hands, but there was one particular guy that I was trying to get to run this site, like this job. Very competent, could do it, no worries. But when I was there, everyone would come to me. No one would go to him. So he would then lose that thing. And even though when I was there and I would say to fucking everyone, no, go to him, they would still come to me. So it would, nature, though. Yeah, it's just human nature. So it would just happen. So even though for times I would sit in the office and literally not have anything to do, I had to force myself to step off to enable him to step up and enable the guys to understand that I'm not there. Don't ring me. Speak to him. And then I would then ring him every day. And then because what was happening was he was getting annoyed because he was thinking I was cutting him at the knees all the time. So I had to do that with multiple guys to enable them to step up within their teams, you know, and it was one of those things. I had to go through that motion. I had to step away. Things fucked up. The quality wasn't quite there. You have to let it happen. You got to let it happen, and you got to manage the expectations of the client. You know, anyone that sits in there and says, "Oh, I stepped away off the tools, and then all of a sudden all my quality was still," like, no, you're talking shit. It never happens. So I stepped away. Quality dipped. Productivity dipped. I got angry. Worked out what the issue was. Middle managed again. Went back, but I had to keep telling myself, "No, do not go back on the tools. Go in there. Get out of the fucking high-vis shirt and the work boots. Go in there, have the meeting with him, and make him the point of contact." So it was like almost like a leadership shift, and I had to do that for like 12 to 18 months. But now, polar opposite.
I feel like that's probably the crossover.
Yeah, it's hard. It is hard because it's like your baby. You don't want your name to get dragged through the mud. And this comes back to the relationship aspect. I had relationships with all these people, and they wanted to work. They wanted me. They didn't want Ideal Group. They wanted Corey. They wanted me. Where now it's like people are getting up. They got no idea who I am. It's like because they're not getting me, they're getting Ideal Group Australia. That doesn't mean that I haven't. You know, there's been a couple of people that I might have let down along the way. Things happen. That happens. Companies change. Companies evolve. I can't be there forever. So. And that was like, it always comes back to like, what is the business that you want to build and how do you want to do it? You know what I mean? For me, I wanted to build something where I had growth from within to enable my guys progression. Because like you guys were saying that you work, it happens within your own company as well. Like you said, you work alongside in a carpentry crew or a builder. If the builder's working alongside you on that job, you're not getting any further than him. He's the owner, dude. He's the builder. There's no progression past him. That's it. So for me, I wanted to build layers, you know, estimations, operation supervisors, operation managers, and all that sort of stuff within the company. So then guys didn't hit leading hand status or site supervisor status, then they could go to the next rung. And it gives them that foresight of growth. Because what I was finding, roadmap, and that's exactly what we do in our performance reviews.
Straight out of school, work for yourself. And as a 17-year-old, and then by the time you're 30, you could be.
That's exactly what happens. Yep.
It's an actual clear progression.
And it's good because guys also see guys like ourselves, and they're like, the goal is to be off the tools. My goal was never to be off the tools. My goal was just to build the business, and it resulted in me having to be off the tools. So like, for them, their goal might be, I don't want to be swinging a hammer when I'm 35. I've got 2 kids. So now I can confidently say, well, bro, I can give you that here. I've got the roadmap for you. I can do that.
And you keep people with you from there as well.
100%. Every single guy that I've got in management has all come from within. Yeah. I think we're only going through. We've got a roll up at the moment, which is going to be our first external that's coming in, first one. So other than that, it's all been from within. And it's been good because then it buys into the culture of the company. Apprentices see it through the qualified guys, and qualified see it coming through. So they're all itching to fucking be better. Exactly. Where if I wound it all back to 5 years ago and I was still on the tools, that guy, that apprentice, they're looking at me, I'm on the tools, I'm in there. That's it.
Yeah. Do 4 years, get qualified, then they bugger off.
That's it. So that's exactly what I want to do. But talking on that subject, I know you sort of briefly mentioned it just a second ago, but what is the further plan for Pinnacle? I know you guys are 4 years in now. Let's say 10 years. 10-year Pinnacle. We're sitting around, high-fiving. Fucking you guys are there, man. You made it. You got the fucking...
I feel like it's hard to fathom that. You just get caught up in the rat race of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is a difficult question to answer.
You guys don't come to Brisbane, do you? You only service the Gold Coast. Yeah.
Got that much work, and the just constant work just keeps finding us. We're at the point where we just got to say no.
That's the fucking drama with us too.
The point where so you're checking in with people so you can do scheduling, and you're like, you better let me know, because otherwise you'll be in the
the job done then. Yeah. Want to be back.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best pieces of advice that our boss gave us. Like, you've got to learn to say no.
Yeah.
Because that's a skill in itself. You can't just take on all this work.
Yeah. Never one.
You don't look at it. You don't look at the prices. You're just like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. And then you just go back and you look at that job. Oh crap! I lost 10 grand.
Yeah.
Didn't make a cent. What was the point? So.
Yeah, you feel like you're letting people down, but at the end of the day, like, you can only do so much.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I feel like 10 years, I'd like to be known as the crew that has done the highest class homes on the Gold Coast, especially the Gold Coast. The market that's there in the real estate market and the type of home that people want is insane.
Yeah.
Gold Coast #1 premium carpentry contractor, mate.
Pretty much.
We've never set out to be the biggest. Yeah. We don't want to be the quickest at doing stuff. It's just, we're the best. That's what we want to be. Like, I know it's hard to obviously aim for perfection, but if you can aim as close as you can to that, even if you fall 10% off the
chasing it, right? Yeah. It's never ending. It's always moving. Yeah.
So, that's
boys.
And that's how we try and teach all our boys, is start to finish, quality all the way. We don't have to necessarily rush everything, but
and if you've got the money in the job too, you can allow it. And I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah. Like, that's the biggest thing that I find as well. Guys have got a fucking Corolla budget and they want a Lamborghini product, and that is where carpentry gets a bad name. Is because you got, say for instance, you tender up something, you get then cut at the fucking knees for pricing.
Yeah.
All right? Cut it. Right? So their expectation of quality is here.
Yeah.
They then cut you at the fucking knees and you're now here.
Yeah.
But yet you now have a gap that you have to fill, and usually you're the one fucking paying for it that has to bring that quality up. But the budget doesn't allow for it. And that's where carpenters get a bad rap. Mainly contract carpentry gets a bad rap, is because the money's not there.
Chippy and a carpenter as well. Yeah. You can be a chippy, but to be an actual carpenter, it's a big difference. You need to know way more than just slapping up a frame or doing an eave or doing a fix out.
Well, you're thinking of multiple steps ahead.
Yeah.
What is this going to impact?
And decisions you're making now might save the builder tens of thousands of dollars if you pick something up, and you can communicate that to the site supervisor or construction manager, whoever it is, and go, hey, has anyone actually thought about this detail? Yeah. Should we go back and look at this and change it? And it's invaluable.
That is like, but it comes down to one of those things, all right? Sometimes some clients, some builders are just really strong on money. That's it. So it's like, sometimes we just got to educate. And back to where you were saying, you got to say no.
Yeah.
If you don't align and they're here and they don't really care about you sitting there, and you got to sell it and say exactly what you just said, like, yeah, but our guys are going to be able to help you problem solve. There's multiple things on these drawings that we don't have details in, which we're going to have to cross, and da-da-da-da-da, and here's my references, da-da-da-da-da. And they're just like, still, we're too far apart. Like, do you want to do it for that? Like, that's hard to say, right? Because when you're in that moment, and like you were saying before, you got bills to pay, your job's been delayed, it's very hard for a lot of guys in that particular situation. And we've all been there before. We've just said yes. No worries, let's get it going.
We made a mistake last year. We got that. We had to fix that.
Yeah.
Back home from one of the boys.
Yeah.
My mate in the industry, and just to fill in 2 weeks, 3 weeks of work, just downtime.
Fuck it.
And
yeah.
We had to keep going back to fix stuff. And
They were just nitpicking on everything, which is just ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Defects.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Not that they're not even defects. It's just oh man, yeah.
You can do this. It's like,
It just what
the scope doesn't say that.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Yeah.
But you just go back and do it because you just don't want to deal with constant phone calls.
Yeah, and you still want to uphold your reputation, your name, like.
That comes back to the thing. It's like, if you do that too many times, that's how businesses get fucked.
This is a pretty small place.
Because you will burn that. You're paying for it.
Yeah.
And then your ATO then comes, and then all these other bills all then come, and then all of a sudden you got no fucking money.
Yeah.
So it's like, sometimes you just got to fucking put your feet in the ground and be like, nah, I'm not fucking coming back, dude. I deserve that money. Like we deserve to be paid what we were fucking owed. I'm not going to let you hold that over me.
Yeah.
And then, you stick your feet in the ground, because the industry is a very good industry, but there is a lot of fucking, people out there that will try to fuck you.
Yeah.
So, but all right, boys, that's it. We're done. That was a quick one.
Very quick.
So still about 45 minutes. Well, it's actually a little bit longer, I think. Yeah, 55. So it goes like that. Yeah. So, but listen, if I had to ask you to, and we do this with some people, because you guys are carpenters, one thing from both it is about either business or a carpenter. If you were talking to someone that was listening it, if you guys were listening yourselves, what would be one piece of advice that you would give either a carpenter or a fellow business owner in the market to what we do? What would you give them? Come on, boys. You got one.
I've got one. I don't know. If you're a carpenter, I'll start with that one. Or you're an apprentice looking first to rock up, last to leave.
Yeah.
It pays dividends. People notice.
Yeah.
If you're a business owner, don't be afraid to ask other businesses and other carpenters and mobs. Like, reach out. People are not going to bite your head off.
People are so fucking. The industry is like so hush hush. Like they don't want to. Oh, you don't want to tell you that I work for this client because you're going to take my work. I don't give a fuck. Go and do it, dude. Like,
I think everyone's going to build everyone.
yeah.
Especially if I feel like it's too much of we've got to pull each other down. I think it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere, and with a bit. Yeah. You got to start somewhere, and with a bit of advice and help.
Yeah.
Goes a long way. Definitely makes it easier. I don't think we had any of that. So yeah, it's been
And socials is a wonderful thing. You can lean on
It's very,
Yeah.
very powerful.
Yeah.
It's something
It's helped us a lot.
a little bit of attention into in the last probably this year, to be honest. Like before that,
Yeah.
we didn't put any attention into that.
it. Well, I think that's how we ended up finding you guys.
Yeah. We did a lot of our own filming stuff. We did some houses up at Springbrook, so we bought a drone and fly the thing around. But then eventually we get too busy, and then you just don't do any of it anymore. And before you know it, like we had a look at the start of this year, just
How many posts?
between the 2 Christmas photos we had on Santa's lap, it was only like 6 posts between it.
Yeah.
So very little social interaction. So that was one of our goals this year, to be a bit more active on it. And we did like a little video on a small, tiny little curved deck we did, and it just blew up. Because everyone wanted to know how it was done.
Most weirdest fucking things. It's like you put on a. You put it on a fuck. Well, yeah, we sometimes steer ours a little bit controversial, but you either love it or hate it. But my heart is always in a good place. Like, I'm always doing it for the right reasons. Like, I set out on this journey for socials and the podcast for the right fucking thing, to, for the industry, for guys, for young guys. And like, I want guys to reach out to me and ask me anything you want to ask me. Come to my fucking office. I'll show you. I'm not holding anything. I'll give you any contact you want. You want to be on the same job as me? Be on the fucking same job as me. I do not care. I'm not hiding anything. I know, I've been in the game long enough now to know there is so much work out there, and I'm not scared to say no or get guys involved or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I'm not following a golden carrot. Doesn't work, it doesn't work. Works, it works. Like, I think you when you do that long enough, you find out. So, but thank you again, boys. That was it. We'll get you back on. And I want to see, I reckon in another maybe, this seems like the defense one. Yeah. Maybe sat in here and it was literally like this. bang, like 12 months later, it was like fucking Borska. Yeah, it's a wholly different thing. He went down there, fucking opened up interstate in Vic and everything. It's crazy. So, but boys, thank you very much. And that's it.